I am so grateful that Julia is here with me. Thank you, Julia, for showing up. I'm super, super grateful.
It's my
Uh,
pleasure. Thank you.
yeah, so Julia was a participant in one of the grief recovery method cohorts. Do you remember what year this was for you doing this with me? I'm trying to go back. I meant to look at my notes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's all blurring together. I
I know,
feel like it was this year or late last year. It
right? I
was
think,
maybe late last year into this year. Yeah.
right? Yes. And so it's 2026. So it's been pretty recent. And I've been doing this for a while. So you got, as I share with people, the longer I am doing my own work, because this is work that you can do as many people as you want, and intangible losses. And so it was really wonderful to have you in the cohort, in the group. So I was just wondering if you have anything off the top of your head that you would like to share with people who are curious or interested about doing the grief recovery method program.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when I first started the grief recovery program, first joined the group, I really didn't totally fully know what to expect. But all I knew was that I was really still processing just a lot of grief and sadness about the death of my mom. And even 2 years after she passed, I would just find it really, really hard to talk about her death and open up about it without just really starting to cry and feel really big emotions and just feel a lot of pain and remorse. The feelings were very negative, and just really, really a lot of pain and regret. So just kind of those what if thoughts that people
Mm.
have. So I was really looking
Tell me
for a
more about
way.
this. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. I just want to interrupt
mm,
because you're saying some really good things I think people need to,
sure.
like, a lot of you said negative emotions, and
Yeah.
then you said what if, right? So the negative emotions, tell me, like, why was that a problem for you? Like, what was it about that like was disturbing you? I don't know if that's the right thing, the right way to.
Yeah. I think the most kind of visceral image that I get is like just doing a day-to-day activity, walking into a store or something, and just thinking like, "Ugh, this item, like this experience reminds me of doing this with my mom," and it would just kind of like move me to tears in the moment, and it just you know make me feel really anxious and upset, um, and just kind of holding on to that of like not really knowing what to do with those emotions. I think was really hard for me, and
What was it that the program did that helped you with that? Because, like you're saying, so it was like a lot of that, and it's like you're out in public, as most of us are, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second.
yeah. Absolutely. I think there are a few different elements. And first, really the group itself. Like the group was so welcoming and supportive. I mean, I think, you, Bernadette, really cultivated such a safe space. And it just really non-judgmental space for people to open up and share in the way that they were comfortable. And kind of almost pushing us to really take that next step, even when
Mhm.
it didn't feel comfortable. But to know that there was kind of a safety net, there was a supportive net for us to be, together in, even when it was difficult and I was, feeling a lot of emotions and feeling really vulnerable, honestly. I really felt so supportive and so comfortable in the group. So I'm just really grateful for that special group of women that kind of just offer that space for each other. I felt less alone. So I think
Mhm.
the group itself was one piece, and then each week, we would do more and more together that would help me process in different ways and just start to look at grief a bit more differently. The grief chronology is something that I think a lot about, just kind of looking both at painful experiences that I've experienced through life and also remembering the joyful ones, and realized so many times I've kind of really buried down a lot of the joyful memories. You kind of like don't want to remember a lot of the sad and painful memories, but I realized I wasn't remembering or wasn't wanting to remember some of the really happy ones as well. And it wasn't until really doing that reflection, I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. And I did feel, really joyful about it. So really tapping into those feelings was helpful. And even though I was in therapy at the time, that really helped me to go more deep, I think just deeper into the grief aspect and understanding just grief better, and just normalizing those feelings
That's
is
great. I like
helpful.
that you said normalizing that. And I also am hearing you say the separation, like you can go to therapy and do the grief recovery method program,
Yes, absolutely.
not an either or, and it can be both. It's they both complement each other and support each other. But you don't have to be in therapy to do the grief recovery method, and you don't have to do the grief recovery method then have to go to therapy.
Right.
It's different for everybody. So yeah, so that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And the other thing I was going to say too, like the group itself, I do offer, and anybody who is a grief recovery specialist can do it privately or in the cohorts, in the groups. And I really appreciate you saying the value of doing it in a group because I feel like so many of us have been trained and shamed to stuff our feelings down and isolate. And so the group experience, you're practicing in real time, sharing those really heavy and unpleasant feelings. And at the same time, too, correct me if I'm wrong, in addition to safety, there's some like lightness and laughter because you're hearing
Yeah.
you're not alone in your misunderstanding and myths around grief. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm thinking back to it now, and we shared a lot of great laughs. I remember in the group, and even the moments of just so much seriousness, but it was such a, everybody was in it together, and just some of the most compassionate people I've met in a short period of time. And I'll always be grateful. I'll always appreciate those ladies and
Yeah, I
you,
know
of
they
course.
appreciate and they appreciated you too. And I appreciate you because that's the other piece too, is I feel like in doing the work, everybody showing up is like enough.
Yeah.
It's like you're not going to be fixing anybody, you're not going to be solving their problems. Your presence is what's the most
Yeah.
important thing.
And to be
So,
trusted to carry what somebody else's grief
yes.
was and their experience is that was an honor for me. So I was, grateful that they trusted me with that as well.
Yeah, being a heart with ears.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's have more heart with ears in the world. And you were just such a beautiful heart with ears for so many. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for that.
Thank you. My
Um,
pleasure.
One thing before we go into the fill-ins and then we're going to wrap it up. You said before about what ifs. You were carrying
Mhm.
around some what ifs. Could you talk a little bit about that and what you meant by that?
Yeah. I think so much of that was, well, what if I did this differently? Would it have changed the outcome? Or what if I had spent more time, say, with my mom, or what if I, had just been a better listener, or what I had previously thought, being a better daughter. What if I had acted differently? What if I had said anything that I needed to say before she passed? Would I feel less regret? Would I feel a lot, would I be less hard on myself? And what if things had been different? But kind of getting outside of that mindset was really helpful. I think after completing the program, it was like a switch had really flipped for me. And I know that can be so unbelievable to say, and so almost like infomercially to say, but it's true because months later, right, I still really do miss my mom, especially in those life's moments, especially this year. There's been so many weddings and new babies in the world and in my life, which is so amazing. I know that she'd be so happy to experience those, with me and our friends and family, but the grief isn't as overbearing at all by a long stretch. Um, it's not a difficult weight that I'm carrying, or it's not a gripping kind of deep wound like how it used to be. And I think a really kind of like I would say a life altering lesson for me, or a learning moment, transformative moment in the program was by learning that allowing myself to feel and process and cry and just release everything that I was holding on to, it just opened up the road to a completely new relationship with my mom that carries on past her death. Not thinking of death as the end all be all, but being able to say, we kind of close that chapter and we accept it with love. And now I have the opportunity to move forward in a different way. And that relationship continues in a new and really beautiful way. The most important thing I think was that I was able to forgive myself through the process for so many of those what if feelings. For all the things I wish I had said or done that I didn't, and just really embrace that new relationship that I have today. So that was really incredible for me.
Wow. Wow. That I'm so happy for you. And just like you're saying, I know when I talk about it myself, it sounds information-ish myself. I'm like, no, really, you don't understand. So, hey, I did not pay her to say this. This is position, right? Um, but it's really powerful because it is possible to have a different relationship with someone who's died after doing the program. And I'm just going to speak for myself. I've done the grief recovery method on people who are alive in my life who I wish could be different, or I could have a different relationship that's never going to happen. Maybe it will someday, but right now it's not. So getting complete, as we say, up until
Yes.
this moment, I have a different relationship with these people now too. And
Yeah.
it's amazing. It doesn't mean the stuff that's unpleasant or comfortable goes away. It just means there's a shift in it for myself. Is that
Yes.
accurate for you?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a shift. It's something I can not only handle now, but I embrace it. I am, like this is what happened. And I can still have this conversation or this relationship and this connect and honestly, a connection. It feels like a connection with
Oof, I'm getting
my
goosebumps.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she's been waiting, like like just the idea when you're saying like to forgive yourself, because I feel like a lot of us we have that too as well, is that this program gives permission by looking at these relationships from all different places to say, hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And so yeah, so thank you. Okay, quick, quick, quick. I just say the beginning, first thing that pops into your hand.
Ooh,
Okay,
okay.
ready? All right, here we
Mhm.
go. Just one sentence, so you're filling the end of this sentence. Ready? The grief recovery program is
Amazing.
okay, great. The grief recovery program is not,
A waste of time.
ooh, good one. I like that. Um, the grief recovery program is different from a grief support group because,
It's still so individualized and unique.
mm,
Mhm. To the
wow,
person.
awesome. Okay. Um, Describe the program in 3 words.
Whew. Deeply compassionate. I know that was 2 words.
It's okay.
Maybe deep and compassionate.
There we go. Okay, that sounds good.
And one more word, just like freeing,
Freeing. Great. Okay.
freeing
This one's for myself because this is going to also go on the microsite, and they just want to know. Working with Bernadette.
is the best. Absolutely the best. Hands down, the warmth and
Hmm.
the energy and empathy and compassion, like a deep, true, unconditional love and compassion. I think that you have I don't know if you know the impact that it has, and it makes you feel like I feel like I'm in a warm hug of light all the time. So that's how I would describe it, a warm hug of light.
You. Oh, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Here's another one for you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that was more than
I
one.
miss our hugs as well from the group. I
No.
miss our
Oh, just say,
virtual
but hey, I
hugs.
need a hug. I'll send you a hug. I'll send you a hug.
Perfect.
All right, last one. Every human should or should not take the grief recovery method program because.
Because it's what they feel is right for them at that time. I think everybody
Mm,
navigates grief. Something that I gained from this program, and realized through life that we didn't talk about grief enough. We don't talk about it enough as community, as society. We don't create enough space for it,
mm.
and both within ourselves and with for the people around us that we love in our community or even strangers. And I think we can't afford to do that right now. I think what we need is more community and compassion and connection, and using grief even as an avenue to get to that point is maybe even necessary. So yeah, if someone chooses to take the course or not, because it's not right for them or it is, you won't know that until you take that journey. So I think yeah, really based based on what someone feels in their gut is right.
Thank you. And that is key. That there's so much what you said, I think is just so important. That's the last one. And that's why I do it this way because you have to be ready to do this. It's not something that you should put on yourself. And when you do it, it is something that is going to, I feel, be very healing, even, here I'm going Italian. Oh, even if, um, just like what you're saying, just the understanding of like the grief literacy, I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
And the part that I really appreciate that you said is the community compassion and connection that is lacking right now in our world. And this is one of the ways to bring that back. Um,
Absolutely.
right? And me personally, my thing is I really believe that this can really help with the loneliness epidemic, which does not mean you are living alone. It could mean you are in a room full of people that you love and they love you, but you might still feel alone because nobody's fault, just our world and how we've been shamed with our feelings. And having this community is mini community. It's 8 weeks, and it's wonderful. And by the way, we're having a reunion. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So anybody
Awesome.
watching that, yes, it's very special people because just like Julie was saying, like the hugs. I miss everybody in the hugs too. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh,
so thank you for showing up again, Julia, and thank you
thank
everybody who's
you.
listening. If you have any more questions, I'm going to put all the information in wherever you're going to be seeing this. The link will be there, but you can definitely go to the Grief Recovery Method Institute's website. You can look me up, Bernadette Lusama, and thank you so much again, Julia, and to be continued.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate you.
you too. Thanks. Oh, and hug, final hug.
Yes.